Marta and Miguel.
We are Marta and Miguel. We are married from 18 years and we have 3 adolescent children. Both of us are teachers at university in different topics related to energy and environment. We talk about the action platform Laudato Si, but how was it born? On 24 of May 2020, for the anniversary of the 5th year of the encyclic Laudato Si, Pope Francis announced at the beginning of Laudato Si year. It was entrusted to the Dicastery for promoting integral and human development. It's been a year of many initiatives that started the birth of the Laudato Si action platform. Papa Francesco, Pope Francis, described it in this way, a concrete action project, a pathway of 7 years to involve all the communities so that they will become totally sustainable in the spirit of integral ecology. Let's listen to his announcement.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, con l'enciclica Laudato Si, promulgata nel 2015, invitavo tutte le persone di buona volontà a prendersi cura della terra che è la nostra casa comune. Da tempo ormai questa casa che ci ospita soffre per ferite che noi provochiamo a causa di un atteggiamento predatorio che ci fa sentire padroni del pianeta e delle sue risorse e ci autorizza a un uso irresponsabile dei beni che Dio ci ha dato. Oggi queste ferite si manifestano drammaticamente in una crisi ecologica senza precedenti, che interessa il suolo, l'aria, l'acqua e in genere l'ecosistema in cui gli esseri umani vivono. L'attuale pandemia poi ha portato alla luce in modo ancora più forte il grido della natura e quello dei poveri che ne subiscono maggiormente le conseguenze, evidenziando che tutto è interconnesso e interdipendente e che la nostra salute non è separata dalla salute dall'ambiente in cui viviamo. Abbiamo bisogno perciò di un nuovo approccio ecologico che trasformi il nostro modo di abitare il mondo, i nostri stili di vita, la nostra relazione con le risorse della terra e in generale il modo di guardare all'uomo e di vivere la vita. Un'ecologia umana integrale che coinvolge non solo le questioni ambientali, ma l'uomo nella sua totalità diventa capace di ascoltare il grido dei poveri ed essere fermento per una nuova società. Abbiamo una grande responsabilità, specialmente nei confronti delle future generazioni. Che mondo vogliamo lasciare ai nostri bambini e ai nostri giovani? Il nostro egoismo, la nostra indifferenza e i nostri stili irresponsabili stanno minacciando il futuro dei nostri ragazzi. Rinnovo allora il mio appello: prendiamoci cura della nostra madre terra, vinciamo la tentazione dell'egoismo che ci rende predatori delle risorse, coltiviamo il rispetto per i doni della terra, della creazione, inauguriamo uno stile di vita e una società finalmente ecosostenibili. Abbiamo l'opportunità di preparare un domani migliore per tutti. Dalle mani di Dio abbiamo ricevuto un giardino. Ai nostri figli non possiamo lasciarli in deserto. In questo contesto, il 24 maggio 2020, ho indetto l'anno Laudato Si, la cui organizzazione è stata affidata al Dicastero per il Servizio Sviluppo Umano Integrale. Ringrazio tutti coloro che hanno celebrato quest'anno con moltissime iniziative. Oggi sono lieto di annunciare che l'anno Laudato Si sfocerà in un progetto di azione concreto, la Laudato Si Action Platform, Un cammino di 7 anni che vedrà impegnate in diversi modi le nostre comunità perché diventino totalmente sostenibili nello spirito dell'ecologia integrale. Vorrei dunque invitare tutti ad affrontare questo cammino insieme. In particolare mi rivolgo a queste 7 realtà: famiglie, parrocchie e diocesi, scuole e università, ospedali, imprese e aziende agricole, organizzazioni, gruppi e movimenti, istituti religiosi. Lavorare insieme, solo così potremo creare il futuro che vogliamo, un mondo più inclusivo, fraterno, pacifico e sostenibile. In un cammino che durerà per 7 anni, ci lasceremo guidare da 7 oggettivi del Laudato Si che ci indicheranno la direzione mentre perseguiamo la visione dell'ecologia integrale. La risposta al grido della terra, la risposta al grido dei poveri, l'economia ecologica, l'adozione di uno stile di vita semplice, l'educazione ecologica, la spiritualità ecologica e l'impegno comunitario. C'è speranza. Tutti possiamo collaborare, ognuno con la propria cultura ed esperienza, ciascuno con le proprie iniziative e capacità, perché la nostra madre terra ritorni alla sua originale bellezza e la creazione torni a risplendere secondo il progetto di Dio. Dio benedica ognuno di voi e benedica la nostra missione di ricostruire la nostra casa comune. Grazie.
Parlare della
To talk
Laudato
about Laudato Si Action Platform is to talk of a dream, of a journey, of a common journey for the care of Mother Earth, as the Pope calls it. A journey pushed by the enthusiasm with which many of us, Catholic or not, had welcomed the encyclical Laudato Si. This working together, this journey, this pilgrimage is like the answer to a need of a real ecological integral conversion, personal and collective, in complete symphony with our commitment with the life of the gospel for universal fraternity. The image of the platform is the site Laudato Si Action Platform.org. However, what is behind it is much beyond what is in the site. There is a lot of fervor of work, a network of relationship that grows and is interwoven. There is the experience to get to know the story of each one and to work together for this great dream. From the beginning, the Dicastery involve associations and movements in order to prepare the different journeys and the resources for all the sector in which the society is organized. To the Focolare movement, through the president, in that moment Amos, derived the invitation to coordinate one of the 7 sectors of activity, the sector of family. So the new families are very much involved from the beginning. And what are the 7 sectors? That of the families, where everybody is included, even the one who live alone, parishes, dioceses, the education institutions like schools from elementary school to university, the Center of Health Assistance, the different organizations or groups, the economical subject like businesses and religious communities. So in the last months, the work of a different sector is involved in many organizations with representatives of all the continents. The main work that we have to do for the platform is that of thinking and building concrete action plans that can guide all the sectors for 7 years, keeping our attention that they be for everyone and they keep in mind the different cultures and the provenance from all the countries or for the villages, the most or the metropolis.
We are speaking about the Laudato Si action platform and what are its goals. Now, the best way to avoid getting lost in our journey is to know where to go. So the ideas, reasonings, and the theology in Laudato Si are inspiring, but run the risk of becoming lifeless unless we translate the words into action. However, to avoid acting on pure activism, it is essential to have clear goals. Therefore, I'd like to share with you what are the Laudato Si Action Platform 7 goals. The first two goals respond to the cries of the earth and the poor. Now, Anthropocene is the word that expresses how our actions began, especially accelerating in the 1950s, to change the planet's surface. Now, this change led to the intensification of catastrophic climate events, the loss of biodiversity, which menaced ecological sustainability. The planet endures despite our actions. We are the ones that may not survive unless we change how we live, move, and have our being. The response to the cry of the earth is the goal that involves cultural changes related to energy efficiency, carbon footprint, new relational interactions with biodiversity, and promoting sustainability at several levels, from agriculture to clean water for all. However, this all includes particular attention to the poorest. The response to the cry of the poor is the goal that recognizes how changes in the environment can generate injustice to those with fewer resources. From the cradle to the grave, life at all stages matters. We're all called to be solidary and pay special attention to the most vulnerable, from the child at risk to the indigenous community, from the refugee to the migrant. Now, the third goal addresses resources and societal relations through ecological economics. Now, despite being one of several other dimensions of human action, economics drives human society. And for this reason, economics is embedded within the bio and ecosphere. What we produce and how, what we consume and how much, ethical investments, and even disinvestments in harmful activities and goods like fossil fuels, all require new ecological economics, bringing care to labor, sobriety to industry, and dignity to workers. The fourth and fifth goals relate to our ability to learn. The goal of adopting a sustainable lifestyle seeks to re-educate how we manage our resources, not taking more than we need, and decrease waste in the process. We can recycle more and better, but building long-lasting habits in how we eat, move, and consume is the change that generates a new ecological culture. An ecological education, another goal, aims to rethink and redesign how we learn to integrate ecological awareness and transformative action. Here, promoting human rights, including the right to education, ecological leadership, restoration, and a new sense of community is paramount. A sixth goal is community engagement and participatory action, because all of us are protagonists, not just politicians. In this global village, we are all connected, but communities are the reality that gives a sense of belonging and a familiarity with the ecosystems present where we live. Authentic politicians do not want to decide for us, but with us, implying a more significant engagement in politics and social action. I left to the end what might be the most fundamental and unitive goal of all: ecological spirituality. Human creativity is the universal sign of the spiritual dimension imprinted by God in our hearts and minds. We often say, save the planet or protect the planet, but what needs saving and protection is our relationship with the planet, its ecosystems, and among ourselves. The ecological spirituality goal is unitive because it renews our relationship with the natural world through the experiences of wonder, praise, joy, and gratitude. All actions of a contemplative heart that cherishes the time to celebrate, meditate, learn, and pray. All these 7 goals guide our journey, but all journeys require steps. And steps are actions. Therefore, families, parishes, schools, companies, hospitals, and others can find several examples of actions they can choose to support their steps and build their path in the Laudato Si action platform. Now, these actions will have repercussions on the level of ecological transformation where they live and work. These actions can help us fulfill the concrete and essential steps to heal our relationship with the planet from our real possibilities. Each can add the actions he's working on, adapted to his region, to the actions proposed in the platform. So in this sense, I would like to invite you to know our family's preparation in the Philippines. Hi, Luan.
Hello. Ciao, everyone. We are Luan and JR, and together with Maria and Jani, Marta and Miguel, we are part of the LSAP Working Group for Families. Now we share our experience on the recent development of the Laudato Si Action Platform, or LSAP, in the Philippines. Just to give you a background, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines launched the CBCP National Laudato Si program in March 2021, with an initial aim of launching EcoDesk in every diocese. It so happens that the convener of the CBCP National Laudato Si platform is part of the LSAP Working Group for Parishes and Dioceses. And there was this desire to echo what is happening in the Dicastery to the national level. And so, the season of creation became an avenue in which the 7 sectors introduced the LSAP in their respective sectors. The sectors organized webinars from September 2 until October 10. New Families Philippines involvement started when Nora and Andrew alerted us on the invitation of the CBCP NLSP to the Focolare movement to join the families sector. We felt that this was a heaven-sent opportunity to take a leap forward on our own LSAP efforts. So, the New Families helped organize 2 webinars aimed at families. The objectives were, first, to promote the care for our common home to families as taught by Pope Francis in his encyclical letter Laudato Si. Second, to inspire families to act by sharing success stories of families who hear both the cry of the earth and the cry of the poor. And finally, to encourage families to register at the Laudato Si Action Platform website and to help realize the Laudato Si goals. The first webinar, entitled Families, A Call to Love, Caring for Our Common Home, was held last September 11 and was organized with the second dialogue team of the Focolare, the CBCP Episcopal Commission on Ecumenical Affairs, and the Ecumenical Initiatives Forum partners. The webinar focused on giving families simple, practical, doable, and sustainable initiatives from inside the home to the backyard and perimeter of the house, then going out, a call to make it a way of life, involving families from different sectors. Resource speakers included a green architect who shared his expertise on sustainable homes, a married couple who spoke about their ecological conversion by living a simple lifestyle, a mom who shared her advocacy on bokashi, which is a Japanese way of composting, and how this sparked community action. Some thoughts of Kiara were also shared during the webinar. She perceived love as the immanent law of nature, love as a qualitative factor that regulates the relationships among the natural elements. And I quote, and the fact that God was beneath things meant that they weren't as we see them. They were linked to one another by love, all, so to speak, in love with one another. Then two families shared their experiences on how to live the teachings of Laudato Si. A family from the United Church of Christ in the Philippines shared their experience on lessening the use of plastics in their home. And another family from our very own Bukas Palad Foundation shared how, as a family, they try to care for the environment. At the end of the webinar, UCCP Bishop Ruel Marigsa gave the families a challenge of stewardship and home management.
The second webinar, entitled It Starts with a Family, Be a Laudato Si Family, was held last September 25 and was organized with the CBCP Episcopal Commission on Family and Life and various family movements, Bethlehem Christian Life Community, Couples for Christ, and the Christian Family Movement. Father John Layden, chairman of Laudato Si Movement Pilipinas, spoke about how creation spirituality can be lived in the family. This was followed by the experiences and eco-initiatives of the family movements. The success stories began with the video from Bethlehem CLC on how children acquire values of caring from their parents, followed by the video from Couples for Christ, featuring the children themselves showing what they do to care for Mother Earth. The Christian Family Movement showed adults, including senior citizens, doing their part by planting trees and responding to the cry of the poor. Ending with the video of new families, Gary and Cheryl Rosales, which showed how their entire family concretely live a simple lifestyle, engage their community to participate in zero waste management and other Laudato Si related initiatives, and how they overcame the polarization they met when they got involved in these advocacies through dialogue, with the objective of encouraging families to care and get involved. We will now share with you a video of the highlights of these two webinars. Just a note on the song Hamon ng Panahon, which means Challenge of the Times, a Focolari song composed by the Jen Jalo, with its message on who will do the first step to change the world now, served as a very inspirational segue to the plea for families to be actively engaged and become Laudato Si families and encourage other families to join. Let's watch the video.
Sa mundo ngayon, di tunay ang ngiti. Turing sa bawat isa'y isa lamang katunggali. Nagunahan lagi dito sa mundo, dahil sa isip natin nilalang ang nagwawagi. Kaya ngayon, paikot-ikot lang, walang tiwala sa mata, walang pag-ibig sa puso. Ano ang hahawakan? Ano ang susundan? Sino ang gagawa ng unang hakbang? Ang hamon ng panahon ngayon'y nasa ating harapan. Naghihintay may nasang marating, kalayang magbigay, mataas na hangarin. Kilalanin natin ang hamon at hiling, ang mundo'y gawing isa, pag-ibig paghariin. Ang hamon ng panahon ngayon'y nasa ating harapan, naghihintay ng isang tugon, nagpapakita ng daan. Piliin ang pag-ibig, buhayin ang pag-asa, at mula sa ating sarili, baguhin ang mundo. Ang hamon ng panahon ngayon'y nasa ating harapan, naghihintay ng isang tugon, papakita ng daan. Piliin ang pag-ibig, buhayin ang pag-asa, at mula sa ating sarili, baguhin ang mundo.
The experience of working on these webinars with the Church, Laudato Si Movement Pilipinas, ecumenical partners, and other family movements has been an enriching exchange of gifts, ideas, talents, and charisms. The relationships built among us will be a solid foundation that will accompany us in this 7-year journey and hopefully even beyond. It was also an opportunity to mobilize and work in synergy with the various branches of the opera. Now, together with you, we are looking forward to the launch of the LSAP, and we continue to pray together for the outcome as it should be, already completed in the mind of God. Thank you. Now we listen to Isa, who worked in the sector related to economy, one of the most important challenges in the relationship between the environment and social dynamics.
La piattaforma di
The Laudato Si Action Platform, its initiatives are aimed at the 7 sectors and in bringing everyone together in a universal and multidisciplinary network. We too were called by the Dicastery, representing both the economy of communion and the youth movement of economy of Francis, both realities spread around the world, to work with other bodies, associations, and so on, together as common goals. The main work so far concerned the construction of the platform itself. It's a question of identifying concrete action, collective actions to be carried out in the perspective of the encyclical Laudato Si. Our participation acts on 2 fronts. The first, through meetings with the steering board, a sort of central committee to work in partnership with others on the content and type of information shared on the platform. The second is specifically part of economy working group, together with the Laudato Si movement and Laudato Si challenge movement. Actions to be pursued in alliance with others through the platform could include sustainable production and consumption, ethical investments, divestments from fossil fuels, and any activity harmful to the planet and people, supporting circular economies, prioritizing care work, and protecting the dignity of workers. Our role is that of communicators to spread the topic to as many subjects as possible, in particular reaching companies, cooperatives, and other businesses realities, raising awareness on the issue more and more, and trying to reverse the course towards an economy that is really more sustainable, developing projects that bring about a change. Specifically, next to us in the central team, which as mentioned binds the economy of communion and economy of Francis, there are some young people from the economy of Francisco community who have already presented very interesting and impactful specific projects and are receiving funds and resources to support them. Above all, a seed capital to start the activities and to be able to guarantee feasibility. In Sri Lanka, for example, a young man is working to spread solar panels over the roofs of many Catholic churches in collaboration with local communities and dioceses, while the farm of Francesco is another equally interesting project that aims to build a global network of regenerative demonstrations farms in different places around the world. For those who are not well aware of what the economy of Francesco is, I remember that in 2019, Pope Francis invited young people from all over the world to act for collective change and invited entrepreneurs, change makers, researchers to co-design and give new life and soul to the economy. Over 3,000 young people responded and joined a community that is growing today in 5 continents, divided into 12 working groups. Each one combines 2 words that are not usually seen together in the current economy. Within the Agriculture and Justice Working Group, 10 young entrepreneurs, change makers and farmers representing 8 different countries have begun to exchange experiences and share the main difficulties present in agriculture, approaching the main justices that we experience every day in agriculture. And they began to dream of creating a prophetic and specific solution to transform the system towards integral ecology. The solution they dream of together, and now it will be one of the LACP's actions, has begun to take shape in the idea of making a difference where young people themselves come from, building a global network of demonstration farms to impact communities, vulnerable communities too, and restore the earth around the world. Here, these are just some of the ideas and actions of the way to a new economy, combining more forces, talents, resources, and trying to reach different contexts. The platform is also a vehicle for launching and disseminating those actions, and certainly includes many others in different areas, but all directed towards the integral ecology and that universal brotherhood that characterizes the entire pontificate of Francis.
Wonderful experiences. Now, Monica is the leader of the sector in the Laudato Si action platform related to parishes. So I'd like to invite you to know her experience in building this platform.
Hi, I'm Monica. I'm a volunteer from England. I work for CAFOD, which is Caritas England and Wales, and I lead our education work. And earlier this year, I was invited by the Dicastery for Promoting Integral Human Development to lead the Laudato Si Action Platform Working Group for dioceses and parishes. In this role, I have been immensely grateful for the richness that I've had from Gen Life and as a volunteer, and our incredible experience and a commitment to building a better world, building a more united world, one step at a time. I knew that taking on this role as the leader of the working group, this was an experience I could draw on both personally and professionally. And then I just had to trust God to do the rest. So leading the working group has been an enriching experience of working as a synodal church. For the Dicastery, this has been a new way of working. Our working group is made up of over 30 people from around the world. Some are community workers, others parish workers, diocesan leaders, others bishops. But everyone's thoughts and ideas have been equally respected and valued, and they have helped to shape the Laudato Si action platform. The beauty of our discussions have been learning from one another. And I've seen in the group that so many of the true experts of our work are those who are living closest to nature, or those maybe due to the desperate consequences of our changing climate have had to become experts overnight. Many of whom are from some of the poorest communities in the world, communities who have done the least to cause the problem of our warming earth, but who are suffering the effects the most. Our challenge now is to ensure that the platform works for the global Catholic community. Then we will see how it will work for the whole global family after that. For dioceses and parishes, we particularly want to engage with people who may be not already as involved or immersed in the language of church or technical science, but to try to make it really accessible. We haven't got this quite right yet, but it's a journey we are on together. The Laudato Si action platform has phenomenal potential. So as the first stage, we're inviting the Catholic community to step up to the challenge. And with 1.3 billion Catholics in the world, this could be truly amazing. It is an opportunity to demonstrate that we want to take our faith seriously and that we are truly committed to walking the talk as we respond to the cry of the earth and to the cry of the poor. Thank you.
Grazie Monica. Torniamo adesso alla
Let's go
piattaforma.
back to the platform to understand a little more concretely who can join, we can ask ourselves. The answer is everyone. Yes, everyone. Children, young people, adults. We can do it as individuals, as a family, as a community. Afterwards, we can promote this membership also in the places where we carry out our action, in the school, in the university, in the parish, in the companies. Certainly, we will find ourselves in at least one of the 7 sectors, or whereas in more sectors. For example, we will be able to register with our family to act in our home. And we will also be able to involve our company because they sign up. And also begins a path of action. In this way, we will collaborate with our work colleagues in the ecological transformation of our company business as well. How can we join? We can do it ourselves and encourage others to do it. Maybe we are not the representatives of a business or of a school, but we can always present the idea to those who could do it. At this stage on the platform, we will only find the possibility to subscribe to Ensure Your Commitment, where we can leave our contact for more information. However, joining the ILS plans will be possible starting on November 14th, with a more complete registration, even for all those who have already pre-registered on the site. It is important to know that this membership will be possible from 14th of November to the 22nd of April, which is the World Earth Day, now recognized everywhere since 1970. After this date, the first year registrations will be closed. Registration will then reopen the following year for those who want to start the path, the journey from the beginning. Is the path the same for everyone? The steps are designed for those who join, because these will be specific to a school, to a parish, or a family. The steps also try to be suitable for the place where we live. Along the way, there will also be proposals for evaluating the steps already taken, moments that can be used to make new commitments or refresh those already taken, always in the spirit of freedom. If anyone wants, they can share their story or their journey on the site, even if everything must be done with respect for privacy. Over time, it is expected that the platform will be enriched with new resources that can deepen the topic or that will show experiences that can become inspirational sources for other actions. It is important that we know that the platform can be used to announce initiatives. We can ask other questions using the email lsap@focolare.org.
Okay, so we're ending this session, and just a few final thoughts. So in 2015, Pope Francis channeled the voices of all those who saw and understood what was happening to our environment, and he gave us Laudato Si. Now, he didn't start from nothing, but built this encyclical letter following the intuitions of Saint John Paul II and Benedict XVI, and the knowledge developed by scientists around the world. However, there was an unforeseen risk for Laudato Si: the risk of becoming just another book that makes a global warning on global warming. Now, Laudato Si is not a book like all other books on the environment. Instead, Laudato Si is a transformative experience, one that inspires our everyday actions, how we relate with each other, how Christian communities relate with nature, and what could be the social impact of more ecological lifestyles. The Laudato Si Action platform is the stage that reveals that transformative experience when we take the inspiring words of Pope Francis and turn them into action. It is a unique opportunity to build an authentic virtual community where people share the evolutionary potential behind the cultural changes induced by the steps taken to change their lifestyles and thinking. It is not one more thing, but one daring thing that will generate a cultural tsunami to change the relational landscape of our common home. Now, unless we get involved in this long historical path, who will make others feel the presence of Mary throughout creation and her supportive embrace in humanity's ecological conversion? So a question I hope it will resonate in our hearts. Now, finally, the ultimate question: what are we supposed to do? Number one, we should visit the platform's website and sign up on November 14th. And number two, invite everyone to join the platform: family, friends, neighbors, colleagues, friends from our communities and parishes, friends from school or university. Now, this path, I believe it's fascinating because we do it together, and the future of our planet and ultimately ourselves depends on it more than you realize. And when we do it together, we can help each other, inspire each other, and celebrate with each other, because the Laudato Si Action platform is, I think, the adventure of our time. So thank you for listening to this moment.